is component scan. So component scan does expect us to pass base packages. It is a list of the packages where your beans will be kept. So for now, just have it as beans. Hello and welcome. Alright, what is a stereotype? In plain English, stereotype is a fixed, simplified and generalized perception about anything. So whenever any stereotype is attached with anything, you expect a fixed set of property or expect it to behave in a certain way. Now let's have a look on what are stereotype annotations in Spring. In Spring, stereotype annotations refer to a set of annotations which provide metadata about how a particular class should be treated by the framework. These annotations are stereotype because they generalize the role of annotated classes within the application context. So here are the main stereotype annotations in Spring. First one is component. It indicates that a class is a Spring managed component and it is the most generic stereotype for any Spring managed component. Spring will detect and register beans automatically for the annotated classes during the class path scanning. So the idea is that you put this annotation above a class and provide some sort of configuration, and then Spring should be able to scan the configuration and have this class as a managed component or a bean in its bean container. The other three are service, repository and controller. We will have a much more detailed video around these three annotations. For now, let's continue our discussion to the stereotype annotations. While using the stereotype annotations, we need to add the annotation above the class, for which we need to have an instance created in the Spring context, and then we also need to instruct the Spring on where to find the classes which have been marked with the stereotype annotations. We use component scan to do the same, and don't worry, we will see all these things with a proper hands-on coding example, so it will be much more clear. For now, let's move to the implementation and a demo for the component stereotype annotation. Let's move to the code. Alright, so here we are in the IDE with the same code setup that we did in the video number 3 of this playlist, and we have 3 packages to begin with. We have beans, we have configuration and we have runner. So let's create a class called as hotel, and since it's supposed to be a component, let's annotate this with component annotation. This class will have 3 private member variables. First is called as name. Let's duplicate this to create the other 2. And this would be location, and this could be user review rating. Now let's create the getters and setters for all these 3 member variables, and other than these we will also create a method called as welcome message. All it does is it prints a message. Hello, welcome to the hotel, and that's it. Now the bean has been created, the bean class has been created. Now it's time to create the configuration class. So we will go to the configuration package and create this class called as hotel configuration. And as mentioned earlier in the videos, that anything which needs to be created as a configuration, we have this annotation called as configuration. Other than that, we have something else which is new, right? Which is component scan. So component scan does expect us to pass base packages. It is a list of the packages where your beans will be kept. So for now, just have it as beans. So let me explain what's happening here, right? So essentially you have created the component class, and now you need to tell to the Spring framework that, hey, I have a configuration and your task is to go and scan all these packages. The reason is that my component would be placed in this package, right? So here beans package is where the component is placed, and that is what is being told by the configuration, that you go and scan the component, the base package is beans. So that's the idea behind having this configuration class. And now once we have the configuration done, now we will write the runner class where we will create the demo. So let's call it as hotel demo, and we have a main method to begin with, and we will extract out the context. In order to do so, we make use of annotation config application context, and we will pass the hotel configuration dot class. And with the context that we have, we will call the get bean. What do we want? We want the hotel dot class. Let's assign this to this object called as hotel. And now let's do one thing. Let's try to fetch the name maybe call it as is the name, and maybe duplicate it and call it as is the location, is the rating. And let's change the method as well, so it would be get location, get rating. And let's also call the method which was welcome message, and let's run it and see what is the outcome. So upon running this, we find that the value for the name, location and rating is not being populated and it's null. However, the method which we wrote, which was welcome message, is able to print the message successfully, whatever we had given. Please note that unlike the approach where we were using the bean annotation to create the bean, we were able to change the object state by using its getters and setters. But here when we use the component, there is no direct way to do so, and that is the reason that these fields are not initialized and we are getting those as null. However, this particular thing has nothing to initialize and it's independent and it can work as expected. So what is happening is, whenever the application is getting started, Spring is going and it's checking for the configuration. It's going to the base package, it's going to get this definition for the bean, and it will create this object and place this in its bean container. But other than that, it has no idea regarding what exactly is going to be the value of this one. We have not changed these things in this implementation as of now. We will have a look around what all different things we can do in order to ensure that the correct values are passed, but that would be something for the later videos. This video we learned how exactly we can create a component class using the component annotation and using the component scan annotation. Alright, so that will be this for this video. I'll see you in the next one. This video is part of a playlist on the Spring Framework. Playlist is designed to progressively teach Spring concepts step by step. I have made sure the quality is super good. I do request you to visit the playlist. Link is in the description. Thanks for sticking with me till last. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. I hope this video added some value. If so, please hit that like button and share with your friends. Your honest feedback in the comments is valuable to me. I regularly post informative videos for software engineering and computer science. Don't forget to hit the bell for instant updates. Take care and stay awesome.